Before we connect the head to the doll, we are going to go ahead and make her wig cap and add her additional facial features like her nose and her eyebrows. So let's go ahead and get into the wig cap. Normally, I use Karen Simply Soft for the wig cap. This yarn that I'm using is not Karen Simply Soft. I do not know what the yarn is, but I do know that it is a 4-weight yarn. So we are going to do the wig cap very similar to how we make the head. We're going to start with a magic ring, and we are going to do 6 single crochet into that magic ring. And then once we have our 6 single crochet into the magic ring, we can go ahead and pull that magic ring closed as we have done in the previous videos, and then we will be ready to move on to putting 2 single crochet into each stitch around as soon as I get everything out of the way. Okay, so we are going to do 2 single crochet into each stitch around, and that's going to give us 12 single crochet. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but after I do my initial stitches into the magic ring, I do not put my stitch marker in there. You should. I do not, because it just be in the way. And so I don't put it until after I do this first round, where I'm normally putting 2 single crochet into each stitch around. And I just count the stitches out, and then I put the stitch marker into the last stitch. In this case, it's going to be a stitch marker into the 12th stitch. So if you've noticed that and you're like, well, why didn't you put the stitch marker in there? It's because I honestly really don't like using stitch markers, but I know that I have to use stitch markers, so that's why we do it. On the next round, we are going to do 1 single crochet and then single crochet increase. So we do 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 2 single crochet in the next, and we repeat that all the way around to the stitch marker. When you get back to the stitch marker, you should be doing 2 single crochet into the stitch marker. So that is what we are doing for this. Would be round 2. 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochet in the next stitch. On the next round, we are going to do 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then single crochet increase, which is 2 single crochet in the next stitch. Like I said, the wig cap is very much done like the head. You are just not going to do your decrease rounds on the wig cap. So again, like I said, we're doing 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then 2 single crochet in the next, and you are going to repeat that all the way till you get back to your stitch marker. Okay, for the next round, we are going to do 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and then a single crochet increase. So it's 1 single crochet in the first 3 stitches, and then you're going to single crochet increase, and then you're going to do the same thing again. You're going to repeat that all the way back around to your stitch marker, and then you'll be ready to go to the next round. Okay, for this next round, we are going to do 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches, and then a single crochet increase. Again, we want to repeat that all the way around, and not forgetting to put our stitch marker in the last stitch so we know where the next round starts. Okay, so now we are on our last increase round, and we are going to do one single crochet into the next 5 stitches and then single crochet increase. Okay, so now we are going to do one single crochet in each stitch around, and we are going to do that until we get to, for me, I'm going to do it until I get to around 15, and then I'm going to try the wig cap onto the doll's head to see how I like it and see if I need to add or take away any rounds. I do this with every single doll. Like in the pattern, I normally say to crochet, through, rounds 1 through 17 of the doll head is how you do the wig cap. But I always recommend that you stop maybe 1 or 2 rounds before, the last round in the doll's head and try the wig cap on to see if the wig cap fits your doll's head the way that you want it to. If it fits correctly, then you can go ahead and sew it on. If it doesn't fit and you need to add a round or take a round away, then you should absolutely do that. Again, the pattern is a guide to help you get to a finished doll, but it is not a absolute, like you should absolutely do this or your doll is wrong. You should do what you need to do to get your doll to look the way that you want it to look. The pattern is simply a guide to help you get there. It is simply saying, this is what I do. You can try it and see if it works for you, but you may have to modify it, and that's okay. So that's what we're going to do with the wig cap. We're going to continue to do one single crochet in each stitch around. Don't forget to put your stitch marker into the last stitch at the end of each round so that you know where your round start, ends, and begins. And when you get to like round 14 or 15, try the wig cap onto the doll's head. See, this is where we are now, and I'm like, okay, let me finish this round, and then you will see me try this wig cap on to see how I like it. Okay, so here you see I have not fastened this yarn off or anything like that because I don't know yet if I'm finished or not. But now the way I situate the wig cap onto the doll's head, the wig cap is not a hat. So it should not just sit on top of the doll's head. Your wig cap should sit back slightly so that your doll has a forehead, and then it should go to the nap of your doll's neck, or like, I say that like it's a real head. Yep, if you know, then you know. But it should fit, like I said, sitting back slightly, and then it should touch like the back of your doll's head, like where that decrease round is on the back of your doll's head. The wig cap should kind of touch back there. And then if you don't want your doll to have a whole lot of forehead, then you might decide that you need to add an extra round. In this case, I believe I did go back and add an extra round, and I just deleted that part out the video, but I believe I did go back and add an extra round because she didn't need that much forehead. But again, we're gonna put it onto the doll's head. We're gonna kind of smooth it out, because I do smooth it out, and we're gonna see, does this fit the way that I want it to? You see how it sits in the back, and then in the front it's slightly sitting back. It's not meant to just sit on top of your doll's head unless you want it to. Unless you want it to. I don't, so I do mine sitting back slightly. Now, once you have your wig cap fitted the way you want it, you can fasten off. I fasten off and I do leave a long tail because I am going to use that long tail to secure the wig cap to the doll's head. I do already have a video showing how I sew on the wig cap, so I am going to speed this up just a little bit, but you know, I'll put the link to that video if you want to watch it in real time. But basically, the sewing folks told me that I do a running stitch to sew my wig cap on, and that is what we're going to do here. And so, like I said, if you want to see the video in real time, you can watch the one that I already have posted. This one is just going to be sped up a little bit. Okay, so now that we have this wig cap secured to her head, we are going to add her nose and her eyebrows. For the nose, I do cut a long length of skin tone yarn, so whatever yarn I'm using for the skin tone, and then we are going to thread that into our yarn needle. If you have a curved mattress needle, then this will work better. The reason I'm using the yarn needle is because it was the closest thing, and I just always have my yarn needle. I lose my curved mattress needle all the time, but the yarn needle, I keep up with those, so yarn needle it is. But if you have a curved mattress needle, you may find that that works better. For the nose, I do normally do it, I line it up like with the bottom part of the eye, and I normally go over 3 or 4 stitches, but you can go over as many as you like. Again, this is your doll. You can make her look however you want her to look. The nose for me, like I said, I normally just do it over 3 or 4 stitches. And we're just going to find a entry point, and we pull our yarn through that entry point, and then we find a point where we want it to come out on the other side, and we pull our yarn through that side, and then we just keep repeating that over and over until the nose is the thickness that you want it. You kind of see me laying the yarn as I'm going from one side to the other. But that's pretty much all I do to get my nose. And then you see me here just weaving the yarn through her head so that, you know, if this doll is for a child, if they pull on it, it won't come out or anything like that. So after I make the nose, we're gonna go right into the ears. For the ears, I do use skin tone yarn. Gonna use the 3.5 millimeter hook. Sometimes I will go up a hook size for the ears. It just depends, but in this case I did use the same hook size. Now I am putting half double crochets into the magic ring, not single crochets. So I'm going to put 6 half double crochets into this magic ring. And once I have my 6 half double crochets, I'm going to pull it closed, And then I am going to turn it so that I can just work those 6 half doubles that I made. So I'm going to close this up, close the magic ring up, and then we are going to do slip stitches from, into those 6 half double crochets. So I'm not going to chain or anything. I'm just going to turn it so that I can work those stitches, and we're going to do 6 half double crochets into those stitches. The last stitch is going to be a little bit hard, but it's always hard to get it in there because you pulled it so tight, but you can get it in there. So 6 half double crochets, and then turn it, and you're going to work 6 slip stitches into the 6 half double crochets that you made. And then once you do that, that's my ear. That's how, and I'm just going to do that twice. I'm going to make 2 of those, and I can fasten off. And what I do is I will weave in or sew in the yarn that's hanging from the middle, but I do leave a long chain that I will use to sew the ear onto the doll. So that chain right there, I'm gonna weave that in because I don't need that. But the other chain, that's what I use to sew the ear onto my doll's head, which we're not going to do right now because I need the head attached to the body to be able to sew on the ears, because I use the shoulders as a guide or her arms as a guide. So we're not going to sew them on right now, but I am going to just weave in the end here so that you can see what the ear looks like completely finished. And like I said, we are going to use that ear or sew that ear on at a later time. Okay, so now we're going to give this cute girl some lashes. For the lashes, I'm using the same yarn that I used for the wig cap. I don't split it or anything like that. I'm just going to use the full yarn because she got full luscious lashes. So we're not going to split the yarn. I do cut it, not a super long length, but long enough. And again, we're going to use our yarn needle. Again, if you have a curved mattress needle, this will probably work better, but the yarn needle also works. Now for my lashes, I do have a video on how I do the lashes. This one may be slightly different because I think I do it a little bit different now. I am not for certain because I recorded that last video many years ago. Now, so for my lashes, I kind of look at the doll and where I want my lashes to lay, and then kind of go from there. So what we're going to have to do is I go from one corner of the eye, and mind you, because the safety backs are on the eyes, this is where the curved mattress needle may work a little better because it's a little harder to maneuver around that safety eye back, but you can do it. So I go from one corner of the eye to the other. I'm going to pull it not all the way through, but just leaving a small little tail there. And then I lay the yarn back over, right? And I'm going to go right back into the stitch that I initially went into, and I'm going to come up out of the stitch where I want my lashes to lay. So this is how long her lashes are going to be. So I just come up out of that stitch, and then I'm going to come right back down into the very first, like where I inserted my yarn needle the very first time. And then we're gonna bring the yarn needle out where I want my second lash to lay. So where, like, this is really, you get to determine how your lashes lay doing this method, because you literally lay the yarn and insert the needle where you want the lashes to lay. So that's her first lash. This is how her second lash is going to be. Again, we're going to insert the needle right back into that first space that you inserted where you made your first, where you put it at the very first time. And then you're going to come back up to where you want her third lash to be. And so you can kind of see that I came up just a little bit because I wanted this lash here to just be slightly longer than the other two. And so you can see now, if you wanted to stop at 2 lashes, you certainly can, because she looks cute with just the 2, but I am going to go ahead and add this third little lash as well. And as you can see, I kind of lay the yarn so that it lays where I want it to lay, but I'm going to insert the needle right back into the first space where I inserted it at the very beginning. And then that is her lashes. Again, I'm having to work around this safety back. Now this time, because I am done with the lashes, I'm just going to come up through her wig cap, because now we're just trying to hide the yarn basically. So I'm just going to come up through her wig cap. I'm going to weave it into her wig cap a couple of more times just to make sure it's secure. And then we are going to cut off the little strand that's there as well. You're going to do the same thing for the other eye. And now your baby has these cute embroidered lashes. Occasionally I do use the plastic doll lashes from Amazon, but these sometimes turn out even cuter to me, the embroidered ones. So that's how I embroider my lashes now. Like I said, it may be slightly different from the video that I currently have up, but how cute is that? Those are some cute lashes. And then, like I said, you're just going to do the same thing on the other side to do the second lash. But that's how we do her lashes. And so now we are going to go ahead and get ready to attach her head to her body. Okay, so let's get ready to attach our doll's head. Just a quick note about the wooden dowel. So there are questions about whether or not you can get the wooden dowel pre-cut, and the answer is no. My wooden dowels, or the ones that I use, come in 12-inch length, and those are the ones that I recommend, even though you will still have to cut them, because your wooden dowel should fit at the top of your doll's head. It should sit at the top of your doll's head and then right at the leg joint. And because of this, there's no, like, if you use a different yarn, depending on what your tension is, there's no way that I can tell you what that size is going to be every single time. And so yes, I recommend that you buy the 12-inch and then cut it down. Now, what you see me doing here is I am sewing the doll's neck, the neck from the body, around the dowel. And I'm just using a running stitch, the same type of stitch that we use to sew on the wig cap. I did add some extra stuffing around there, and then I am just, because I want it to be tight around the dowel, right? So we're just gonna sew that around the dowel. And then once I have this sewn on, then I can add my doll's head. This is the other reason why I do not sew up the bottom yet, like her leg joint, where her legs are joined. I do leave that open because this allows me to maneuver the dowel if I need to. Like if I needed to cut off more, I would be able to. But see, here you see me kind of fitting the doll's head. Now what my neck of the head is meant to fit over the neck of the body. So I've seen some people try to like connect the two like right at the base, but that is not how my doll heads are meant to fit. They are meant to fit over, like, so you are pulling the neck of the head over the neck of the body. Again, this is why we left a long tail from the head, because now I'm going to sew that together. But it's not meant to like fit like right on top, because I have seen people do that. If you prefer it that way, that's fine, but that's not how they're meant to fit. The neck of the head is meant to fit over the neck of the body, which is why I sew it around the dowel. All right, and to sew the head to the body, again, we're just going to do that same running stitch similar to how I did the wig cap. The important thing, however, is you do want to make sure that you're going through the neck of the head as well as her body. So you want to make sure that when you're inserting your needle, that it is going, that you're sewing the two together. Don't just be running your needle through the neck and you ain't picking up no stitches on the body. Ask me how I know, because yes, she's done that before. Again, in this situation, a curved mattress needle would probably work better, but your regular yarn needle works as well. And so we are going to I actually do it going in one direction, and then I will turn around and come back the other direction as well, because I want this neck to be secure. Now, with that being said, she will still have a little bit of turn. It's not going to be like where she can turn her head all the way around. It's not supposed to be that way, but she will be able to like turn side to side a little bit. That's normal, and I actually like that. So don't be concerned like, oh, it's not secure if it still turns a little bit. That is absolutely okay. All right, but this is how I sew the head to the body. Isn't she lovely? So now we have our head attached to our body. As you can see here, this is what I meant by it will turn slightly, and that is completely normal, but it is secure, like it's not going anywhere. So next video, we are going to be doing her hair, skirt, and shoes, and sewing up her leg joint.